Hi, I'm Terry and I'm a teacher here at Yoga Gunnersbury Park. This is a hip opening vinyasa flow sequence. So we are going to start in child's pose. If you bring your knees out nice and wide, bring your big toes together at the back of the mat and then stretch your arms forward. You could always spread your arms back in between your legs if that feels comfortable. You can bring your head onto a yoga block or you can bring it onto a pillow. Remember, the primary invitation is to be comfortable in your first child's pose so that you can just sort of become aware of what's going on in your body. Physically, what your sort of level of physical energy is, what your level of enthusiasm is, and what kind of emotional tone, where you are. So it's like a before and after. We get an idea of how we're feeling when we sit still. We'll start to deepen the breath. So inhaling through the nose to a count of 4, and then exhaling through the mouth to a count of 4. Inhaling through the nose. And then exhaling through the mouth. One more like that. So inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. And then you can close your mouth, but keep that rhythm of deep breath going. So inhaling to 4, let it circulate, and then exhaling to 4. If you bring your hands underneath your shoulders, you're going to lift up onto your hands and knees. Tuck your toes under so that you've got control of your pelvis. I'm going to move my block out of the way. Inhale to drop the belly down. Lift the crown of the head. Lift your tailbone up. Exhale, arch the back. Suck your belly button up into your rib cage and look back in between your legs. Inhaling to drop the belly. Exhaling to arch the back. Do that one more time. So inhale and then exhale to arch the back. If you come to a neutral spine, come to a flat back and then reach your right leg to the back of the mat, tuck your toes under and push back into your heel. Reach your left arm forward in space, and option 1, you could stay here. Option 2, you can lift your right leg up so that you've made a nice straight line from your heel through the body, out through your fingertips. I can feel my belly starting to sag down, so I'm going to work really hard to keep sucking my belly button in. I'm going to push my fingertips as well as my palm down into the floor for 3, for 2, for 1, and then keep your leg up in the air, bring your left hand down to the floor. You're going to kick your right leg all the way around to the right. Now this is agony, okay? Keep kicking out into the sole of the foot as much as you can. It's really hard, really hard to keep your shoulders square. See if you can lift up a little bit higher. If you bring your awareness to the outside edge of your ankle, see if you can lift it up another 2 inches. That's it, and then pulse it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then hold it up for 1 extra breath. Good, and then bring both knees down onto the floor. Do 1 more cat-cow. So inhale to drop the belly. Exhale to arch the back. And then come back to your neutral spine. Left leg goes to the back this time. Tuck your toes under, push back into your heel. Reach your right arm forward. So you can stay here, or you can hover your left leg up so that it's the same height as your hips and you've made a nice straight line. Good. So really sucking in your belly button, thinking about your floating ribs tucking under. Hold it for 3. Hold it for 2. Keep pushing your fingertips into the floor for 1. Both hands come down onto the floor, inhaling. As you exhale, kick your left leg round to the left and hold it there. That's it. So straight out to the left. The reason that we're doing this, this is a half moon sequence. So I'm trying to bring as much blood and sort of sensation into the glutes as possible. So let's pulse it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then hold it up just for 1 breath. And then bring both knees down onto the floor. That's it. Drop the belly down, inhaling. Exhale to arch the back, tuck your toes, lift your hips and push back into your downward facing dog, where you can start to pedal out the legs. You can maybe bend opposite elbows as you bend the knees. You can shake your head, you can nod your head, you can flub your lips. Good, and then just come back to that rhythmic breath, inhaling to a count of 4. And then exhaling to a count of 4. Bend your knees, look forward and start to make your way up to the top of the mat. When you get there, your feet are about hip distance apart. Bend your knees and you're going to hang like a ragdoll over your legs, maybe catching opposite elbows if that feels good. Maybe just letting your arms dangle down over the floor, okay? If you interlace your hands behind the back of your head, so you've made like a cradle, keep your knees nice and soft, roll the weight back into your heels, and then gently make your way back up to a standing position, stacking one bone on top of the other. Eventually you come all the way up to the top, and maybe you just look up. Maybe you start to take it into a bit of a back bend, lifting the chest, lifting your elbows, and maybe even taking them a little bit further apart. And then come back to your standing position. Drop your hands down by your sides. Step your big toes together. Breathing in, arms reach all the way up to the sky. Exhale, come down to your forward fold. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhale, hands down, step back to your plank pose. There are loads of vinyasas in this sequence. There are loads of planks. So you can drop your knees down to the floor at any point. If you're working on a stronger core, then keep your knees up. But remember to really engage your quads, okay? Breathing in, breathing out, elbows bend. Inhale to your first back bend, lift the cobra pose. Exhale, push back to your downward facing dog. And you stay there. Take 5 deep breaths in downward facing dog. Inhaling for 1. Exhale, push your heels down. Inhaling for 2, soften your elbows, loads of space around the shoulders. Exhaling. Inhale for 3. Exhale for 3, let your head hang down. Inhale for 4. Exhaling 4. Inhaling 5, exhaling 5, bend your knees, look forward. You can step or jump to the top of the mat. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhale, come down to your forward fold. Inhale, open arms, reach all the way up to the top. Exhale, float your arms back down to the knee. Breathing in, open arms, looking up. Breathing out, folding in half, nose to knee. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhale, hands down, step back to your plank pose. Inhaling, plank. Exhale, bend your elbows. Inhale to your back bend. Exhale, back to your downward facing dog. Inhale, reach the right leg to the sky, 3-legged dog. When you get to the top, bend your knee and turn your hips open to the right hand side. Really push down with both hands. Look underneath your armpit. See if you can bring your heel towards your bum. Your goal is to be able to point the knee directly up to the ceiling. For 2, for 1, and then step the foot in between your hands. Drop your left heel down at the back. On your inhale, you're going to wiggle your arms up and open to your warrior 2. So bending into the front knee. The back leg is completely straight. The alignment is your front heel should be roughly in the middle of your back arch, and you should be able to see your big toe just kind of poking out the inside edge of the knee. So inhaling, exhale, bend a little bit deeper into the knee, flip the palm, and then inhale, take it back to your reverse warrior. Point your fingers directly up to the sky and look at your right middle finger. Left hand can go behind your back. If you want it to be a bit stronger, hold it here for 2. And 1. Bring your right forearm down to your knee, left arm reaches up and over towards the top end of the mat. I'm pushing my elbow into my knee, and that's kind of helping to rotate my thigh open a little bit, externally rotate my thigh open. Looking up at your left middle finger this time for 3, 2, and 1. If you bring your hand back onto your hip, look down at the floor. We're going to move into half moon from here. So if you want to work with a block, you would have the block sort of maybe 6 inches forward from your toes. You can step your back foot in a little bit and then float your left leg up into your half moon. So the standing leg is going to wobble probably quite a lot. Maybe left arm goes up to the sky. Keep kicking out into your heels for 3, for 2, for 1, and then soften everything. Land back in your warrior 2 foundation. Turn your front foot to the left, bend into your right knee, sink your hips down, and this is your Skandasana pose. So this is going to look completely different on everyone. Maybe you're up here with your hands on the floor. Maybe you can get your bum all the way down to the mat. You're going to go from this end of the mat, change to the other end of the mat, bend into your left knee, sink your bum down towards the floor. Bring your right hand down, reach your left arm up, and now we're facing the back of the mat in an easy twist. Good, so holding it for 3, looking up for 2, for 1, and then 2 hands come down, reach your left leg all the way up and out to your 3-legged dog, and we make our way through a vinyasa. So come forward to plank, bend your elbows, inhale to your back bend, exhale back to your downward facing dog, and stay there. Take 5 deep breaths here in downward facing dog. You can feel lots of asymmetry in the body. I'm going to ripple forward into a plank pose, inhaling, and then as I exhale, I'm going to bend my knees, bring my belly to my thighs, and then re-straighten the legs. So it's an inhale forward to plank, bend your knees, bring your belly to your thighs, and then re-straighten your legs. One more time, plank. Bend your knees, belly to thighs, re-straighten your legs, hold it there. And we will do the right hand side again. So inhaling, reach the right leg to the sky, 3-legged dog. When you get to the top, bend your knee, turn your hips open to the right hand side, look right underneath your armpit. See if you can bring your heel to your bum for 3, for 2, for 1, and then step the foot in between your hands, drop your left heel down at the back, wiggle your arms up and open to your warrior 2. Good, so bending right into that front knee. To make it a bit stronger, you can come onto the tiptoe of the front foot, so you've got more sensation around the groin. So a couple more breaths here. For 1, and you can stay on that tiptoe, flip the palm, inhale, take it back to your reverse warrior, looking up at your right middle finger, making it stronger again, maybe by taking your left hand behind your back. Keep lifting your pelvic floor, keep your chin up, so you're stretching from your heart, through the throat, out through the chin. Last breath, good work, and then drop your heel down, bring your right forearm to your right knee, look over your left shoulder. So I've kept my hand behind my back, and now I'm in half bind, half side angle bind. You can make this stronger by bringing your right hand down to the floor. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you take your right arm underneath the leg and join your hands together behind the back of the thigh. But keep looking over your shoulder. Keep rotating your chest round for 3, for 2, and for 1. Now straight into half moon pose. So right hand comes down to the floor or onto a block if you've got one. Left hand on your left hip. You're going to float your left leg all the way up to where it was. And option 1, you can stay here. Option 2, you can reach your left arm to the sky. Option 3, you can see if you can hover your fingertips up off the floor. Maybe you bring your fingertips to your right shin. Maybe you bring your left arm alongside your left ear. and you balance there. But remember, your foot is going to wobble loads. Don't worry about that. Just keep breathing and focusing on exactly where you are. You've got 2 more breaths in whichever variation of half moon pose that feels intuitive. Last one. And then back to your warrior 2 foundation. So you land, you turn your foot to the left, bend into your right knee, come down into Skandasana pose. Take a couple of breaths here. Notice how different it feels 5 minutes later. Go to the other end of the mat, bend into your left knee. Couple of breaths. Good. And then right hand comes down, left arm reaches up to the sky. Easy twist. Drop your right knee down onto the floor. See if you can roll over onto the outside edge of your left foot. So you're externally rotating your thigh out to the left. You can stay here. You can start to twist your body backwards, or you can bend your knee, reach back for the foot. And this is like a full 360 of your hips. Keep pulling your heel in towards your bum. You've got 3 more breaths. 2, keep pushing the left foot down into the floor for 1. And then gently let that foot come down to the floor. Both hands come down to the mat. Inhale, reach your left leg all the way up and out to your 3-legged dog. Make your way through your vinyasa. And we meet back in downward facing dog. And you hold it there. 5 deep breaths in downward facing dog. And now you're going to feel really wonky because we've done the right hand side twice. But that's okay. The body, the nervous system likes to go to the edges of asymmetry. And then when you make a nice square position, like a downward facing dog, it's like a big reset on your nervous system. Okay, bend your knees, look forward. We're going to jump into a squat pose. So maybe you just walk forward. Maybe you can spring your feet outside your hands, come into a squat pose. Bring your elbows inside your knees and press your palms together. So a lot of people can only do it on their tiptoes, in which case you can walk your feet out a little bit wider, or you can step on blocks, or you can step on pillows to do it, okay? Keep shooting your sitting bones down towards the floor. Keep lengthening the crown of the head up towards the sky. Collarbones are nice and broad for 2. For 1, if you have a crow pose practice, you can bring it into a quick crow pose here. And then everybody jump your way back into plank. Take a big inhale and a big exhale as you close it down to the floor. Inhale to your back bends. Exhale, take it back to your downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths before we go into the other side. Inhaling through the nose. And you can exhale through the nose. 1 more like that, inhaling and exhaling. Inhale, reach your left leg to the sky, 3-legged dog. Bend your knee, turn your hips open to the left, look underneath your armpit. Make sure that you're pushing both hands flat down into the floor. Your right heel pushes down into the floor. See if you can bring your left heel to your bum. See if you can put your knee up towards the ceiling and then step the foot in between your hands. Drop your heel down at the back, wiggle your arms up and open into warrior 2. So inhaling. Exhale, bending into your left knee. Good. Inhaling. Make sure you can see the big toe on the inside edge of the knee and exhaling. Nice. Flip the palm, inhale, take it back to your reverse warrior. Look up at your left middle finger. Option to take your right hand behind your back, if that works. Good. Pelvic floor lifts for 2. And for 1. Now left hand is down on your forearm, right arm reaches up and over. But I want you to press your elbow into the knee and keep rotating your chest up towards the sky, looking at your right middle finger. For 2. And for 1. Half moon pose. So first one on this side. Bring your right hand onto your hip. Find your block, if you're using it, 6-ish inches forward from your toes. You might need to walk your back foot in a little bit, and then you float that leg up into your half moon. So looking at the floor for balance. Keeping length from your toes out through the crown of the head. Maybe your right arm goes up to the sky. That's it. And then landing back in your warrior two foundation. Take a breath to settle down into the body. Turn your foot to the right. Bend into your left knee. Sink down nice and low. Maybe you're not using your hands on the floor anymore. Good. Keep your pelvic floor lifted and then go to the back of the mat. Bend into your right knee. That's it. And then left hand comes down. Right arm goes up. Easy twist. Look over your shoulder. Try and keep your hips as buoyant as possible. Keep bringing your chin in line with your shoulder, looking up at your middle finger, always. You've got one more breath. And then both hands come down to the floor. Reach your right leg all the way up and out to your three-legged dog, and then make your way through your vinyasa. And we meet back in down facing dog all together. 5 deep breaths in. So remembering to soften your elbows as much as possible so that you've got space around your neck and your ears and your throat. Keep lifting your bum up as high as you can. Keep pushing your heels down into the floor. In order to do that, you need to switch on the whole front of the legs, okay? For 2 and 1. Left hand side again. Inhale, reach your left leg to the sky, three-legged dog. Bend your knee, turn your hips open to the left. Look underneath your armpit, pushing 2 hands down into the floor, pushing your right heel down into the floor. You've got one more breath. And then step the foot in between your hands, drop your right heel down, windmill up and open to your warrior two. Okay, so this time, come down a bit deeper. Your right shoulder is behind your left shoulder. You're looking forward, okay? One hand in the past, one hand in the future. Come to the tiptoe of your front foot, if you did it from the first side, hold it there. Keep digging your foot down into the floor, and then flip the palm, inhale, take it back to your reverse warrior. Option to take your right hand behind your back. You can stay on your tiptoe if you want to. 3 breaths. 2, remember stretching heart through the throat, through the chin. 1. And then keeping your hand behind your back, if you did that, left elbow comes down to the left knee, and that takes you into your half bind. So you're looking over your shoulder. Your fingers are probably creeping round a little bit more to the inner thigh at this point, and you can stay here, or you can bring your left hand down to the floor. You can take your left hand underneath the leg, and then come into your full bind behind the back of the thigh. But keep looking over your shoulder, okay, for 2. Hold it for 1. And then half moon pose. So if you bring your left hand down to the floor first, right hand is on your right hip, make your way up, right leg lifts, half moon pose. So options here, you can maybe float your right arm up to the sky. Maybe you're hovering your fingers just above the floor. Option 3, you bring your fingertips to your shin and you balance there. Or you can take your right arm alongside your right ear. I can't do it on this side because I've got a dodgy hip. But I'm stretching from my toes all the way out through my fingertips. I'm going to hold it for 3 more breaths. And my leg is wobbling around like crazy. Last one, and then warrior 2 foundation. Okay? So your bum should be on fire for this. Sink down into the hips. Turn your foot to the right. Bend into your left knee. Come down nice and low. Lift your pelvic floor. Keep pulling your belly in. Travel to the back of the mat. Bend your right knee. Sink it down even more. Left hand comes down. Left knee comes down. And you roll over to the outside edge of your right foot. Okay, so you're really flexing your toes away from the floor, pushing that outside blade of foot down. Option 1, you stay here. Option 2, you take your right arm to the back. You start to twist through the body. Option 3, you bend your knee and you reach back for the foot, which is one almighty twist for runners. Keep pulling your heel in towards your bum. Keep pressing your hips down towards the floor. 3, for 2, and for 1. So the foot comes all the way back down, 2 hands come down, tuck your toes, lift your hips, reach all the way up and out to your 3-legged dog, and then make your way through your vinyasa. And we will meet back in downward facing dog. And you stay there, 5 deep breaths in downward facing dog. Keep spreading your hands out on the floor. Noticing if you're rolling to the outside edges of your hands, press into your thumbs and your index fingers, middle fingers, ring fingers. That's it. Last breath. Very nice. Bend your knees, look forward, step or jump to the top of the mat. Inhaling halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, open arms, reach all the way up to the top. Exhale, float your arms back through the middle. Breathing in, open arms. Breathing out, come down to your forward fold. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhale, hands down, step back to your plank pose. Inhaling, plank. Exhale, elbows bend. Inhale to your back bend. Exhale back to your downward facing dog. Inhale, reach the right leg to the sky, 3-legged dog. When you get to the top, bend your knee, turn your hips open to the right. Look underneath your right shoulder. That's it. This time we're going into lizard pose. So if you bring your foot to the outside edge of your right hand, if it doesn't get there the first time, make sure that you walk it up. Okay, so your heel is below your knee. You can keep your knee up, or you can put it down on the floor. Start to walk your hands forward. Maybe start to melt the elbows down into the floor. You can put your head on the block if that feels comfortable to take any tension out of the neck, or you can come all the way down. It's up to you. The 2 sides are going to be completely different, okay? You need to keep pressing your hips down into the floor for 3, for 2, and for 1. Start to walk your hands back in towards your body. If you walk this right foot to the other side of the mat, we're going to drop our knee down into pigeon pose, okay? So a lot of people really struggle with pigeon pose, and this is a good time to sit on a block or to sit on a pillow to sort of make you feel a bit more stable. Your left leg stays really active. Keep pushing the top of the foot down into the floor. You inhale here. Exhale, start to walk your hands forward. And again, you can drop your elbows. You can bring your head onto a block. You can stretch your arms all the way out in front of you. And just take a few breaths there. So both legs stay active in pigeon pose, particularly the length of this left leg to stop you rolling off to the side. So 1 more breath. That's it. And then make your way back up to your upright position. You're going to let your whole body collapse over to the right-hand side as you swing your left leg all the way around to the front. And then you bring your left foot just on top of your right, like this. So I'll show you from the front. You've got one knee stacked on top of the other with little mermaid feet sticking out the side, okay? Not everyone can do this. If you're sort of more here, then that's all right. Okay, bring your hands onto the floor behind you. Push your bum down into the floor, inhaling. Exhale, start to walk your hands forward. So some of you will just stay here. Some of you will be able to bring your whole body weight, your whole chest. Maybe tuck your chin over your knee and keep reaching your arms forward. Maybe elbows come down into the floor. And just stay there without clenching teeth, without trying to think about something else. Just staying with your rhythmic breath, inhaling to 4 and exhaling to 4. And when you've had enough of this, you're going to come back exactly the same way that you went in. So if you start to walk your hands back in, back in, back in, back in, You're going to go back through your pigeon pose. So start to take your leg all the way around to the back, hands on the floor, reach your right leg all the way up and out to your three-legged dog, and you give it a little shake in the air, step it back to a downward facing dog, and you breathe. Optional vinyasa if you feel the need, but otherwise just stay in your downward facing dog. Big breaths in and big breaths out. Inhale, reach your left leg to the sky, three-legged dog. Bend your knee, turn your hips open to the left, to look underneath your armpit. Inhaling here. Exhale, step the foot to the outside edge of your left hand for lizard pose. So you can keep that knee up if you want, or you drop the knee down onto the floor. Keep pushing, keep really like ground, really root down into the floor, and then start to walk your hands forward. So maybe you stay here, elbows up. Maybe you can drop them down. Maybe your head comes down. Maybe your neck is relaxing down. Maybe you're on a block. Hold it for 3 breaths. For 2. And for 1. Well done. Okay, so walk your hands back in, back in, back in. And then this left foot is going to walk to the other side of the mat, and you drop your knee down into your pigeon pose. So this right leg stays switched on. Keep squaring off your hips to the front of the room, taking an in-breath. And then exhale, start to walk your hands forward. Again, dropping your elbows down onto the floor. Maybe head underneath the block. Maybe head on your fists. If you don't have a block, you can stack one fist on top of the other. 3, 2, and 1. And then start to make your way back up into your upright pigeon pose. Let your body collapse over to the left-hand side. Swing your right leg all the way around to the front. Stack one knee on top of the other, just like we did before. So 2 sides are completely different. Okay, hands on the mat. So you sit tall first, inhaling, and then exhaling to start to walk your hands forward. Start to slide them away from you. Keep pushing your bum down into the floor a lot and lengthening out through the crown of the head a lot. You've got 5 more breaths here to maybe rest your chin down on your knees. Let your eyes be soft, soft forehead, soft neck. Last breath. And then make your way back up to your upright position. Good. Okay, so if you lean back over to the left, you can take your right leg all the way back round to the floor. So you come back through your pigeon and then back through your three-legged dog. Make your way through a final vinyasa, and then I will meet you back in downward facing dog. And just stay there, stay completely still. When your eyes are still, your body starts to be still, your body starts to slow down. The momentum of thoughts start to slow down as well. For 2, for 1, and then bend your knees, look forward, make your way into a seated position on the floor. Bring the soles of the feet flat down onto the mat. Close your eyes now, and then roll yourself down onto your back. Bring the soles of the feet together to touch. Let your knees relax out to the side in a diamond shape, and then bring your arms alongside your body. Turn your palms to face up. Let your eyes close. And just stay there. Let your fingers curling towards the palms. And you can kind of push into the back of your head to lift your chest up. Draw your shoulder blades in towards the spine. Lift your bum up, rearrange your glutes so that everything feels just right, and you can stay here for as long as you want to. Relaxing jaw, the roof of the mouth, the inside corners of the eyes, and the outside corners of the eyes. Third eye, whole body. Okay, so if you've got time to stay here on the floor, then please do so. Otherwise, you're going to bring your hands inside of the legs, take the weight of your legs in your hands and then close your knees back together. Bring your knees into your chest, wrap your forearms around your knees and you roll from side to side to side. When you've had enough, roll it out to the right hand side, push yourself back up to your seated position and sit tall. Bring your hands into prayer. Bow the head, you can open your eyes, namaste. Thank you very much, everyone. Well done. I will see you next time.